Today we'll be making the Spy Disguise Kit from TF2. Things you'll need: hot glue, cardboard, box cutter, scissors, straight edge, spray paint, super glue, Mod Podge, sponge brush, apple red acrylic paint, medium yellow acrylic paint, raw Sienna acrylic paint, black acrylic paint, paintbrush, paper, and a credit card case. First I started out by tracing the shape of the credit card case onto some cardboard and cutting out the box cutter. It was a little too big to fit inside the case, so I did have to whittle it down with some scissors, and it is just fitting in there with friction. I did not glue it down at all. Then to make the little screw details, I just got a couple small circles of zero box cardboard made with a hole punch and just super glued them on. I made the little cigarette holder just out of some zero box cardboard, pretty simple, made sure it fit. Yeah. Then I made the buttons by cutting out a strip of zero box cardboard and cutting them into little rectangles. They were a little bit too big. I had to make them a bit smaller so they would fit onto the prop. Then I made the screen by drawing on some zero box cardboard and cutting out the box cutter and scissors, and I did round the edges later. I just didn't film that part. Then I painted that piece of cardboard I cut out earlier just with some raw sienna and black acrylic paint mixed together, just to give it more of a darker color, because I didn't really have any other browns that were the color I wanted. Then I added silver details with a silver Sharpie. Then I used just some raw sienna and dry brushed it over the whole thing. You can't really see on camera, but it adds a little more texture and color variation just to make it look a little more interesting and a little more like wood. Then to get a wood grain effect, I just got a little bit of black paint on the end of my paintbrush and just made tiny little lines to make it look a little more like wood. Then I painted the buttons. I painted two of them yellow and one of them red, just with some acrylic paint. And then I kind of dry brushed the edges. With the yellow ones I used orange, and with the red one I used black, just to kind of give a weathered type look. And then I put a layer of Mod Podge over all the buttons. Then for the screen, I just painted the screen part black, just with some black acrylic paint. I printed out and glued on the Spytron logo with some white glue. I made the logo in Google Docs, pretty simple. I just found a font that looks similar to the one in game, and then just made the background kind of a dark gray. Once it was glued on, I trimmed off the excess. And then I covered it in Mod Podge. And I glued on the screen and buttons with hot glue. And I painted the cigarette holder and inside of the credit card case silver, first doing a flat gray primer coat and then silver over the top of that. Then once it was dry, I glued in the cigarette holder with hot glue, and I did have to sand some of the paint off so there was better adhesion. Then to make the cigarettes, I got a piece of paper and cut it into a 3 3/4 inch strip, rolled it up, and then glued it together so it wouldn't unroll itself. Then using an orange marker, I colored one end of the cigarette orange. I did use some masking tape to try and make a nice clean edge, which didn't really work. Then I used a fine point black Sharpie to give a little more detail. Then after making 5 more cigarettes, it was done. I'm really happy with how this turned out. The cigarettes are just being held in with some masking tape, just so they don't get moved around. But yeah, I tried making this prop like a few months ago, and it just wasn't working out for whatever reason, but here we are now. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.